it's extraordinary timing, as Baroness Simmons said. This conference could not be more timely. My daughter is 17 years old and she's studying A-level politics at the school here in London. And she was, I think, appalled or furious, I don't know which, when I admitted that I'd voted for Brexit. She said that I'd stolen her future. Now, we had quite a sort of testing debate over breakfast about what this actually meant, and I didn't yet win her round. But I did manage to persuade her that if you're studying A-level politics, what a time to study A-level politics. As Lenin said, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. We should truly have lived through those weeks. Now, whilst we can't make, of course, a direct comparison between the EU and the GCC, in order to understand, and this is to go back to the exam question of this session, what are the drivers of a strong and balanced economy and sustainable growth, we have to ask the question, why? Why did the vote in Britain go the way it did? And most crucially today, what can the GCC states learn from that? The Brexit vote was not a one-off. It was simply a peculiarly British response to a fundamental question in the world of globalisation, and that is who governs us and how we govern. I believe that history will judge the referendum as on a par with the Glorious Revolution of 1688 and the Reform Acts of 1832 and 1867. These constitutional shocks fundamentally transformed the relationship in the United Kingdom between the governed and the governing class, and the effects of that rolled out, rippled out across the world, as indeed will Brexit. Brexit, I believe, was a British response to the idea that leaders have demonstrated that they don't know how to manage globalisation. And this is a challenge for all countries looking to create sustainable growth, but of course for the GCC most of all. The fault lines are not between rich and poor, young and old, or clever and stupid, as was often argued in the Remain debate. I believe that the fault lines are between social liberals and social conservatives, between optimists and pessimists, and between big company, big government, and the diverse adaptability of people as they go around their daily lives. The economist Joseph Schumpeter, who was writing in 1942, in the middle of the Second World War, said, "We always plan too much and always think too little. We resent a call to thinking and hate unfamiliar argument that does not tally with what we already believe or would like to believe. We walk into our future as we walked into the war, blindfolded." Now, the introduction to this session, the exam question was, each country will ultimately face the same challenges. Economic integration should focus on finding common solutions. And I believe that diversity forms the basis for what those common solutions are going to look like. And that a newly energized, newly independent United Kingdom is the most natural and steadfast ally for the GCC states as they develop their sophisticated, plural economies for the next generation. And developments such as art and banking in Bahrain, healthcare and sport in Qatar, and trading and tourism in Dubai are all to be welcomed, but they must be people-driven. Because I believe that people are better judges of what is needed than central government. Now, you will recall Michael Gove's interview in the referendum campaign when he refused to name any economists who backed Britain's exit from the European Union. And to the horror of the Financial Times, he said, "People in this country have had enough of experts." But guess what? The people agreed. Back in the 1970s, a new college campus was being built in Oregon, United States. And the architects designed it on traditional grounds with green spaces and courtyards. But one thing was still being debated. Where in the grass should they put the paved walkways? Now, Now, some believe that the paved walkways should go around the outside of the courtyard, leaving the green grass fresh and clean in the middle. Others felt that the walkways should cut diagonally, connecting building to building. But Professor Christopher Alexander, now at Berkeley College, California, had the winning idea. He said, don't make any walkways at all this year. At the end of the year, look at where the grass is worn away, showing us where the students are walking. Then just pave those paths.